United States mourning over the loss of civil rights activist Reverend Jesse Jackson. Good evening. I'm Latricia Thomas.
And I'm Joshua. According to the Jackson's family, he died peacefully at his home in Chicago. Tonight, we are looking into his ties to Chattanooga. Years before launching his campaign for president, Jackson visited Brainerd High School.
Now, his message for students was simple. Success can be achieved through hard work and community accountability. Today, many are reflecting on Jackson's life and legacy.
News Channel 9's Ja'Kai Spikes sat down with one Tennessee religious leader who says Jackson was a close friend.
Grieving such a special person to me and to this world, and so of course I feel a void, an emptiness.
Definitely sad news to hear of the passing of Dr. Jesse Jackson.
The world and the Chattanooga community are reflecting on the strides Reverend Jesse Jackson made for African Americans to feel empowered in a time when segregation was normal.
I challenge you to achieve excellence because everybody can achieve excellence.
Before Reverend Jackson's political run, he was here in Brainerd High School's auditorium back in 1979, just speaking to the kids about how to prioritize their education first.
And they assembled all the kids in the auditorium. His message was what he would say all around the world. Remember that I am somebody. He wanted to instill into our young people this whole ideal of identity.
And it seemed as though he was such a personable figure, and he made sure that you understood how important your existence was, that it did not matter where you came from, that you indeed were somebody.
Brainerd High's executive principal, Crystal Sorrell, says that Reverend Jackson's words of wisdom will carry on for generations to come.
To know that there is something greater, something bigger, and I think that's a message that we try to instill in our students each and every day.
And after this rally in Chattanooga,
do not be anywhere around the provocation scheduled to take place, and I'm going to let them clap with one hand. We must not be the other hand to this tragic expression.
He says we're not going to make and amplify their sound. We're going to pray, and we're going to exercise peace.
From Chattanooga, I'm Ja'Kai Spikes, News Channel 9.
And you can watch our full interview with Bishop Adams right now on our YouTube page.
Okay, so first starting off, Bishop Adams, first, I just want to give you the floor just to express, how are you feeling during this time? How are you doing, especially just with the announcement that Reverend Jackson has passed away?
Deep remorse, of course, grieving such a special person to me and to this world. And so, of course, I feel a void, an emptiness. But I believe what the Bible says, that he's simply absent from the body and present with the Lord, but yet it hurts.
Bishop Adams, can you go into detail about the impact Reverend Jackson had just right here in our community?
In our community, Reverend Jackson made several visits to Chattanooga during Volkswagen's start and infancy. He came to the city. He was concerned about the subcontract opportunities for minorities. And so we met with the heads of Volkswagen. I think it was at 8% at that time. And before we left the meeting, he had it up to 25, 27%. And so we left there and went to Brainerd High School, where I attended high school. He wanted to go there and impact the children. And so he would come time after time. He would just call me up. I'm coming to Chattanooga to spend some time with you. When there was a demonstration downtown with the K Klan, he told me, I'm coming into town to be with you. And he showed up at the office, and I was devastated and terrified. I'm like, what in the world are we going to do? They're going to march. They're going to protest. They're marching down Martin Luther King Boulevard. And I never would forget what he said. He said, it takes two hands to clap to make a sound. He says, if you take one hand away, he says, there's no sound. He says, so we're not going down there because we go there, we would only echo that sound. He says, we're going to sit here and pray and be at peace. One of the great lessons of life that he taught me, times to speak, and also the power of silence.
So bring us back to that time. So before going to Brainerd High School, go more into detail about just the normalization of KKK roaming through the streets and, marching.
Yeah, the Klan had put out that they were going to meet up there at the county courthouse, and then from there they was going to gather at Miller Park, and they was going to march all the way down Martin Luther King Boulevard. And I took it personal, with our church being on Martin Luther King Boulevard, and the statement that they was trying to make, and racial injustice and just racism, and being that whole spirit of being prejudice and inequality. And so I thought, as a leader in the community, that we had to stop it. I said, we got to really shut this thing down. Um, at that time, also working with the gangs in Chattanooga, so I was concerned about how the gangs would respond. So I just saw it was going to be a major confrontation. He was on the plane the next day, and he was at my office and says, "I'm here with you." He says, "We're going to handle it." And so I'm ready to go out and protest and march and, and make statements. And he says, "We're not going to do any of that." And I'm wondering why. And again, he said, "It takes two hands to clap to make a sound." He says, "If you remove one of them, there's no sound." He says, "We're not going to make and amplify their sound. We're going to pray, and we're going to exercise peace."
So then take me to Brainerd High School. What year did that happen in? And just tell me, what did Reverend Adams, what was his message to the Brainerd High School students?
That had to be around 2013, 2014, as I remember. And of course, I attended Brainerd High School. I'm a proud graduate of Brainerd High. And we just pulled up there, and they assembled all the kids in the auditorium. His message was what he would say all around the world: remember that I am somebody. He wanted to instill into our young people um, just this whole ideal of identity, this whole ideal of significance and value and personal worth, and to keep hope alive, to keep your dreams, keep your goals, and to pursue destiny, and to understand that they could do anything and accomplish anything in life that they set their hearts to do.
Can you speak about, I'm seeing that Reverend Jackson actually held a peace and love rally in Chattanooga. Can you go into detail about that, and were you there at all?
Well, there were many times that we would have disharmony in the city, whether it be racial, economic disparities. We would go visit. We went to visit the mayor's office. We just showed up, and with Mayor Burke at the time received us very openly and was very hospitable. But he expressed his concern of the economic situation in Chattanooga, the disparity between his blacks with other ethnic groups, other races, and that we had to do something to address that. And when there was just injustice, whether it was going on with the police department, the sheriff's department, then he would be concerned about those issues. And he would come to town and say, "Let's get in the car. We're going to visit everybody." So we would make rounds all around Chattanooga, and he wouldn't leave until he had answers and he addressed various situations that were plaguing us in Chattanooga.
Got it. And if you see me looking over here, I'm just looking at my notes just to make sure that I cross off everything. So we hit on that. One of the other things that I wanted to hit on is I was doing my research and I saw that there was a time where I believe it was either 4 or 5 Black women were attacked by the KKK, and actually Reverend Jackson came to Chattanooga to try and advocate for bringing justice on their behalf. Is there any insight on that you could let us into?
Yeah, that was right. Yes, that situation happened on Martin Luther King Boulevard as well, as 4 women were just walking and they were attacked and by those who had racial discriminating intent. And so his visit to Chattanooga was by the Ministers Union, the clergy kind of near at that time. A group of pastors in the city sent for him And he came in because he wanted to make sure that the city at large was addressing the issue. And so he was here for many days and met with different political persons and law enforcement individuals and with the family to make sure that justice was something that everybody was pursuing.
Do we know around what year that happened?
I was younger. I was a lot younger at that particular time. Um, but the impact was great. I was a young preacher at that time. I wasn't even a pastor. Pastor Robert Richards was the pastor at that particular time. But from that, it's come out a documentary. You know, there's a movie out about suing the Klan, and you know, he had a lot to do with that. So it's a whole documentary. Our attorney Ben Crump was one of the individuals also instrumental in putting out that information, that history. Did it really happen right here in Chattanooga, Tennessee? You know, how to sue the Klan, and it involved that issue of racial discrimination against those women, those four individuals.
What legacy do you think that Reverend Jackson leaves behind, and what would be your message to the community since his passing?
The legacy that he leaves behind, he was a champion for justice, you know, a drum major that led us against injustice and racial discrimination. He sacrificed his life, walked with Dr. King. You know, we would talk many nights about when Dr. King was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee at the Lorraine Hotel, that Dr. King fell right in his arms. And after he died, he says, he didn't just fall in my arms, but his dream did. And so he felt compelled to continue the legacy, to continue to fight. And I think what we should take away from that is to celebrate a man who gave his life for others, serving others, and fighting against injustice. The world is so divided even right now. There's so many things going on. And our takeaway is that now it is fallen in our arms. Now he's gone to a better place, but yet all of us have the challenge to every day look for opportunities to make this world a better place and to fight against injustice. Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And so we have to take it personally and challenge me as a pastor and as a leader that it's not just how well I'm doing, how well my church is doing, but it's how well the city is doing. And if everybody's not doing good, I'm not doing good. So that's been my challenge, my hope today, that I'm even inspired even more so to pick up the baton and to continue this effort to make this place a fairer place, a place of justice, a place of equality.
Last question I have for you is, can you just go into detail about you and Reverend Jackson's relationship, how it began, and how much he means to you? Because I know that he is like family to you.
He's family to me. He called me his son. I called him dad. Like I said, every night he would call me on the phone late at night, and we would have hours of conversation. And he would tell me these corny stories that he thought were so funny, but they weren't funny at all to me. But we would still laugh together. I remember driving him from Tennessee State, where we met with the president of Tennessee State resolving an issue, and we were going to Murfreesboro to the plant in Toyota the next day, and it's pouring down raining, and I couldn't see a thing. I'm all over the highway, and he's sitting over there, and he says to me, he says, it's a shame that Dr. King died as a martyr, fighting for people's rights in Memphis, but I'm going to die in the car with a blind preacher. And we just laughed and laughed and laughed. But it was moments like that where he showed his human side, but at the same time, we were all amazed to know that he was different, that he walked with some supernatural gifts, and that was manifested in how he loved people and cared for others. And so I'm going to miss him greatly. But his impact and all the withdrawals that I made out of his life, the deposits that he made into my life, my challenge is to continue on and do the things that he taught me.
And then now that we're wrapping up with the interview, okay, so one of the footage that I'm gonna use is Reverend Jackson speaking at an assembly at Brainerd High School in 1979. So you were only with him at Brainerd High School in 2011, correct?
Right.
Okay, got it. So not in 1979.
No.
Okay.
I was in junior high. I was in middle school at that time.
Okay. Do you have any photos of you guys at the 2011 in Brainerd High School?
I do not. I do not have any photos of that particular visit to Brainerd High School. I know people probably have them, but I don't have any of those.
Okay, got it. Alrighty, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Bishop Adams. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna send you the story link. I know that you'll be on a flight, but I'll text you the story link. And I'm gonna go ahead and just start like editing and writing and getting all this together. But first and foremost, I'm sorry for your loss again. I know I told you this privately, but I just want to say it again and thank you for taking time out of your day for even just speaking with us about this. And we really just appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate
Yes.
you for celebrating his life and remembering, all of his sacrifices. And just thank you for keeping his legacy still alive and still going on. So I appreciate you so much.
Of course. Thank you.
Well, God bless you. You take care now.
Bye. Yes, sir. You too.
Bye-bye.